Hi, and welcome to the 2014 Jog 2 Fieldwork Questions revision film. By watching this, you're well on your way to preparing thoroughly for the Part 2 questions for your exam on Friday the 16th of May. You will need to write in a detailed and convincing manner to really convince the examiner that you were there and did the fieldwork when we went to Wales in March this year. Depending upon the nature of the questions, you will either write about the fieldwork carried out on the day that we visited the sites along Saundersfoot Bay, or the fieldwork carried out on the second day when we stopped at the sites along the Afon Cyffinwy River. Choose your fieldwork example carefully. Only write about one day or the other. This film will deal with the coast day. So, all fieldwork starts with a hypothesis. That's a statement that you're going to prove or disprove as a result of the data that you collect. Ours was that longshore drift is occurring from west to east in Saundersfoot Bay. Learn this. You will need to quote it in the exam. You might be asked about the aims. We had two. Number one was to investigate the physical processes operating on the Pebble Storm Beach in Saundersfoot Bay. Aim 2 was to investigate the state and effectiveness of the current sea defences in Saundersfoot Bay. Learn these. You will need to quote them. Now on to the purpose of the fieldwork. The purpose of our fieldwork was to collect data about, number one, the profile of the two Pebble storm beaches, number two, the length, the width and the breadth of the pebbles, number three, the geology of the pebbles, and number four, the roundness of the pebbles. This is all primary data because you went out and collected it yourself. Also, most of it was collected as numerical data, and so it is known as quantitative data. However, you also observed the different coastal management methods at 3 different sites, which is qualitative data, because that was much more descriptive. As geographers, we are also interested in using information collected by fieldwork to see if we can support the geographical theory of longshore drift. Now, in your exam, you might be asked about the theories you were investigating. The theory that we were investigating through our fieldwork is that longshore drift is the process whereby sediments are transported along a coast at an angle to the shoreline, which is dependent on the prevailing wind direction, swash and backwash. If you really wanted to wow the examiner, which I know you obviously do, you could even produce a labelled sketch to show this theory. So, now on to the meaty part, the methodology. You may have a question like this. Always remember to include a range of human and physical features. It was a suitable site because we had easy and safe access to the sites from the road, and we were able to collect a full range of data and observe a variety of coastal management methods in a small geographical area. If you are asked to draw an annotated sketch map to show its basic characteristics, you need to draw something like this. Fieldwork is a risky business. That's why I've got my high-vis jacket on. You must be prepared to talk about the risks associated with collecting primary data. That means danger! Remember, we had a safety briefing before the fieldwork, and at all times during the work we were carrying out active, ongoing risk assessments. Look at the potential dangers. We kept away from unstable cliffs. We left Amroth Beach before high tide to avoid getting stranded. We were really lucky with the weather. Look at those shorts. But still had to be aware of wind-blown sand and unpredictable waves. We wore stout footwear to help us stay safe on the uneven pebble beach and slippery rocks on the foreshore. After Joe got told off for picking up and throwing a big stick, we kept safe by avoiding picking up or sitting on unpleasant debris. We were also very careful when leaving the minibus so that we didn't have a road traffic accident. Chris wore sunscreen to avoid burning his fair skin, and had the weather been worse, we would have taken warm and waterproof layers to avoid hypothermia.